It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Kitchen Land USA, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Well, good morning to you on Thursday. We're moving through this week pretty quick, I think, and hopefully that's good news for you. At any rate, let's do some news.
All right. A Springfield man could get up to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty in federal court to stealing mail from a postal facility. The 38-year-old was a former postal worker who used his knowledge of the door codes to get inside the post office and steal those items from the mail that he could resell. He was caught on camera after the post office installed some security cameras that he was unaware of.
Meanwhile, Springfield has chosen its new city manager. It has chosen David Cameron, who has been the city administrator in Republic since 2016. He was chosen out of 3 finalists who interviewed and met with the public just a few weeks ago. Cameron, of course, has overseen rapid growth in Republic over the last 9 years and has worked in local government for 30 years total. Now, interestingly, his position is not yet official, but it's all but a done deal. The city sent out a press release about it. The move requires a formal vote of the city council at their next meeting. His start date is July 7th. The former city manager left Springfield back in January, as you'll recall, and David Cameron is a very good man, so I think that's a good hire for Springfield.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know him a little bit. I didn't know the other two. I mean, they were probably also great, but David is super great. I'm excited that he's going to be the one.
Yeah, he's been a great friend of Convoy of Hope as we moved to the new headquarters there. Just made things really easy for us and for a lot of other businesses moving into town. Still no official response from the city of Springfield when it comes to helping homeowners after severe weather event that happened 15 or so days ago now, 16 maybe. Some city council members have brought up the idea of utilizing Springfield's rainy day fund to help with tree debris removal. The stats show just how severe the storms were. They spawned 7 tornadoes, knocked out power for almost half of city utilities customers, some for several days, damaged about 2,300 properties in Springfield, and took down about 1,200 trees. Just really crazy. The city has waived fees at the Yard Waste Recycling Center and Noble Hill Sanitary Landfill so people can take their tree debris there. The problem for many residents, though, especially in North Springfield, which received the worst of the storm, is not having transportation to get the downed trees off their property. A lot of them don't have access to trucks or don't have trucks and don't have a way to get the tree debris where it's needed. So the city council is going to look at it further and revisit the issue at its next meeting. We'll keep you posted. Meanwhile, the federal government is offering help for people affected by a tornado and severe weather outbreak in Arkansas that happened back in mid-March. President Trump declared a major disaster following the devastating storms that hit Arkansas, affecting kind of in our area, Izard, Jackson, Sharp, and Stone counties in Arkansas.
All right. Missouri is very close to banning cell phone use at public schools during the school day. The bill would require school districts to have a policy that bans cell phones all day long, including in between classes and during lunch. A lot of districts already have created a policy on cell phone usage. This statewide policy, however, would go into effect starting with the fall semester, so later this year. This calendar year. The bill was passed by both of the houses of the Missouri legislature and is awaiting Governor Kehoe's signature.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I think it's a response to parents and teachers. I think it's kind of everybody across the board would agree that cell phones are a problem. Now, there's different ideas you could have for policies regarding them, but
right.
This is a start, I guess.
Yeah. This story is very interesting. A man is suing the Greene County Sheriff's Office for being put in jail, suspected of drunk driving when he was actually having a stroke. Yikes. Blood alcohol test came back showing that he had 0 alcohol in his system and was taken to the hospital. But that was after sitting in jail for 7.5 hours. So the lawsuit claims that that man went blind because of the stroke and that the lack of timely treatment led to some other long-term issues that perhaps could have been avoided had he been taken to the hospital sooner. Deputy noticed the man weaving as he drove to work at Amazon, pulled him over in the Amazon parking lot, and said that his speech was slurred, which it likely was. The lawsuit claims that the man demonstrated several other symptoms at the jail for hours before he was actually taken to the hospital.
What a
Yeah,
horrible story.
I know it's actually horrible all the way around.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the officer who pulled him over, I mean, he was swerving and slurring his speech. Eyes were glassy. And
my question is, how quick is that BAC comeback? Because if they blow
7.5 hours
immediately, well, if they blow immediately, it reads right there on the spot. But I don't know the process in this case. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, there's like a breathalyzer that breathes that is
the test
automatic.
showed zeros. The test showed zeros.
Right.
Zero alcohol.
I know.
So if that had happened on the spot, well, maybe they thought, well, it's not alcohol, it's drugs.
Yeah.
That
is what I don't know, and that will be big.
Yeah, it's just a terrible, terrible story all the way around.
Yeah.
The city but very unique. I've never heard of that before. Have you?
Same. No.
Yeah. City of Humansville, Missouri, is going to be audited by the state. That after some concerned citizens raised red flags about what they consider to be misuse or misuses of taxpayer money in Humansville. Residents collected well more than the 135 signatures needed to trigger the state audit. No timeline at this point for results of the audit, but we'll be watching it and let you know.
Okay. Congratulations are in order for East Elementary School in Ozark. It was just named by the Missouri Department of Education as a Gold Star school. Pretty cool. It is one of 8 across the state and the only one in our area to get that honor. Being a Gold Star school means that it has outstanding academic achievement and performance, or is at least making significant progress in academic achievement.
Well, congratulations to them.
I know. I love that.
2 former Big Lots locations in the Ozarks will soon be filled by a store that I'd never heard of before. Maybe you have.
I already looked it up. I had not heard of it either.
Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Ollie's, OLLIE''S. Big Lots filed for bankruptcy, closed all its stores, as you know, last fall. Now the stores in Springfield and Lebanon will be filled with Ollie's, at least one of the stores that closed in Springfield. Ollie's says it's a place to find real bargains or real brands at bargain prices. Sorry, I messed up their slogan. Find real brands at bargain prices. Of course, I'm not being paid to say it. From housewares to toys.
Yeah, and I was the last time I messed one of those up. So, anywho, thanks for rubbing that in.
It's going to operate in one former Springfield Big Lots location. That's the one on East Battlefield near Campbell. The other former Big Lots on North Kansas Expressway will continue to sit idle because we don't know anything that's going in there at this point.
Okay. Evangel University is hosting a big garage type sale to raise money for scholarships and departments. Continues today through Saturday at the Maybe Fitness Center. It's called the Colossal Sale and includes home items, clothing, books, and more. Hours today and tomorrow are 8 to 5, and then on Saturday from 9 to noon. The Colossal Sale at Evangel has been happening every year at Evangel since 1964.
Okay. Well,
isn't that crazy? Like a college that does that. I was like, that's awesome.
Well, I was thinking about as I was putting that story together yesterday. Last night I was putting it together, and I was thinking about the person whose idea that was back in 1963, maybe.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know who's calling me on Zoom call. They have to be proud that sale is still going after all these years, because I'm sure there's somebody in the office back then and it was like, what? Oh, I don't know about that. That's nobody's interested in that. That's a dumb idea. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, look at it now.
Right. I love it. I love that they do that. All right. Well, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow morning.
Indeed, we do. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Command Family Medicine and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday. We are starting it off with nice warm temperatures. Wow, we are already in the upper 60s. That's how you know it's going to be a warm day in the Ozarks. In fact, once again, we are talking about temperatures that may approach records here in the Ozarks. Nothing compared to what's going on down in Texas. Triple-digit heat already this early in the summer, a sign of a hot and humid summer to come. We have above average temperatures in the forecast in the Ozarks today. We're starting out in the upper 60s and will warm into the mid and upper 80s across the region today. Much like yesterday, I think those heat index values could feel closer to 90, and it's just going to be kind of another summer-like day across the region. Now, there will be some changes in this forecast, but what doesn't change, at least in the next couple of days, is that we're going to keep this very warm and humid air mass in place, which means our above normal temperatures are going to stay in place today, tomorrow, Saturday, even Sunday of this weekend, looking like the warm air is going to stick around into the early part of next week. And not only do we have this very warm air mass, we also have unsettled weather. It moves in as early as tonight through the weekend and lasting through the early part of next week. Now, this is not to say that it's going to rain all day, every day, starting tonight, lasting through early next week. The weekend is not a washout, but what we do have are several rounds of showers and thunderstorms with the overall pattern that's going to be setting up in the Ozarks. And I am expecting that some of those storms could be on the strong side. There is a potential for strong to severe thunderstorms in the Ozarks. I think the first chance for us is going to arrive on Friday. Still some uncertainty here with the timing, but what looks possible is all modes of severe weather, as well as the potential for some really locally heavy downpours, which, saturated ground in combination with that, it could result in some flooding across the Ozarks in the coming days. The breakdown looks hot, near 90 degrees for the high temperature today. It is going to be roasty toasty out there this afternoon with some cloud cover. I do have a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast, both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, about a 50% chance each day. So not a washout, but at some point we'll have some strong storms in the forecast each and every day. Low temperatures get a little bit cooler. This morning we're starting out near 70 degrees. So no night looks cold or cool in the Ozarks, but we will at least be back into the low 60s tomorrow morning. And I've got low 60s in the forecast as we head into Saturday morning and Sunday morning as well. Highs will still be in the upper 80s on Friday. We're in the mid 80s on Saturday and Sunday, but there will be rain in the forecast through this entire time period. And I am expecting that at least some of the opportunities are going to carry some severe weather chances with it. Best chance for that happening looks to arrive on Friday. We are not the only ones that are going to experience this severe weather chance. In fact, severe thunderstorms and flash flooding happening today for the northern and central plains all the way into parts of the Midwest. Those will roll into the Ozarks overnight tonight into early Friday. We've also got dangerous heat happening down in Texas, not only today and through the end of the work week, but really through the middle of the weekend and the early part of next week. That dangerous heat and triple-digit heat index values are going to linger through much of Texas. We've also got critical fire weather conditions happening again for much of the southwestern United States. So a whole lot happening across the country. Here, we're just going to be talking the unsettled weather for the immediate time period. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question. And the question that I left you with yesterday was this: what is the name of the scale used to measure the intensity of tornadoes based on the damage they can cause to structures and vegetation? The options that I gave you were A, the Richter scale, B, the Saffir-Simpson scale, C, the enhanced Fujita scale, or D, the Beaufort scale. And the answer is the enhanced Fujita scale. C, yes, EF scale. You probably know that living in the Ozarks because we are accustomed to rating our tornadoes on that scale. The enhanced Fujita scale is indeed used to rate the intensity of tornadoes based on wind speed and the resulting damage. You have to look at the damage to structures and take into account how those structures were built. Is this wind knocking down a brick building versus an outhouse? Is it tearing up the crops in a field completely, or is it just kind of forging a path through those areas? All of these things come into play when rating some of the tornadoes and estimating their wind speeds. This scale replaced the original Fujita scale back in 2007, and it ranges from EF0, which is the weakest tornado, to EF5, which is the strongest. And it uses a combination of damage indicators and degrees of damage to estimate wind speeds and assign the EF rating. So congrats if C, enhanced Fujita scale, was your answer. Here's the quiz question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. Which type of severe weather event, often associated with warm, moist air rising rapidly, can produce heavy rainfall, lightning, and flash flooding in a short period? Do you think it's A, a blizzard, B, a derecho, C, a mesocyclone, or D, a thunderstorm? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you so much for listening this morning. It is going to be a hot one in the Ozarks. Find a way to stay cool, stay hydrated through the day too. Take a sip of that water now while you're listening to the podcast this morning, and I'll chat with you again first thing tomorrow. Thanks to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet.